Now to the position or positioning of our youth, their empowerment and roles in both tackling economic and political issues. Described as the leaders of tomorrow for a long time, worldwide trends are showing that the population in this bracket, where Nigeria is said to have about 70% of its citizens, are unwilling to wait for tomorrow to come. They are taking the lead in the introduction and use of technology, for example, and are now becoming more visible in the economic and political spheres. Even as we count down to the elections next year, how can this system go about removing the factors or roadblocks which have prevented the youth from going further to drive national development? On Channels Forum, I'm being joined here in the Lagos studios by Dr. Samuel Aikomogwe, leadership and change management strategist. He's an agent of change and advocate of lifelong learning. Thank you for your time. Welcome to the program.
Very much.
And joining us from the Abuja studios is Monica Mwenge. I hope I got that right. She is Chief Executive Officer of Nor Media. Thank you so much, Monica, for your time. Welcome to the program.
Good evening, Mr. Ladi. Thank you, and happy Independence Day. Nigeria.
Same to you. Let's begin this conversation from this issue of leaders of tomorrow and what that actually means today, and the fact that the decision is that the youth don't want to be leaders of tomorrow, they want to be leaders of today. The Not Too Young to Run bill, and now I'm going to ask you, I'm starting off with you, Monica, the Not Too Young to Run bill, or act as it is now, was supposed to remove all the barriers, or most of them, for the young to participate in the political space. Has it done that?
Oh my God. So first of all, I'm about to say that it's the greatest time to be alive as a young youth in Nigeria and Africa in general. But sadly, reverse is the case because youth are put at the back burner of everything. And in the political spheres of Nigeria, we have a low turnout of youth. And to be honest, the Not Too Young to Run has done quite a whole lot to bring this to the limelight. But we have issues of mentorship where the older generation is not working towards giving way to the younger generation. And the younger generation is not understanding and is frustrated. So there is a clash between the older generation and the younger generation. I mean, we have known that these are leaders were leaders when they became leaders when they were 30, when they were 20, when they were in their 20s. But coming back to 2022, I feel like our leaders should give way for the youth to be rebirthed, to have a way, to have to make, because you barely see youth in the political spheres these days. So to be honest, I know that the president passed the bill, but the whole weight is still on Not Too Young to Run. Not Too Young is trying as much as possible to make this happen. But there's a lot going on in the country. There's godfatherism and what have you, even the issue of finance. I mean, look at when the issue of buying the tickets. Where do you expect a young person, a youth, to come up with 20 million to buy tickets? I mean, this is not fair. So there's just a whole lot, and there's a disconnect between the old and the young people. But hopefully in 2022, in 2023, things will get better. So, Mr. Ladi, it's really, really in a poor state, I must say. And I must commend the Not Too Young to Run for doing
Let me
best.
take it that you said that you know, it's really in a poor state, and come to Dr. Aikomogwe in Lagos and say that, look, it doesn't appear as if the law or that act by itself was supposed to change anything. It was just supposed to provide a framework within which the young were supposed to act. Now, The youth have 70% of the population in Nigeria. I mean, depending on how you define youth. In some instances, it's even more. So, I mean, there should be what people call the tyranny of the majority if the youth decided to take that up, because nobody can get into any office without their support. But that has not happened. That is not happening. And the chances that that is going to happen either next year or in the nearest future is still slim. Is it that the youth do not recognize this power? Or is it, as Monica pointed out, that there are existential blocks between them and those who currently hold the reins?
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate the youths that are here, which is especially why this topic is relevant to them. There are so many paradigms that are wrong that we just get, we just swallow them. For instance, the youths are the leaders of tomorrow, and we just swallow them. Sometimes we go to church, we want to sing, say, I will never be ungrateful to you. You know, is that what you really want to? What you want is that you want to be grateful to God. But we sing and celebrate, I will never be ungrateful to you, for instance. That is not what you want to say. But why don't we say exactly what we want to say? So the government has made the provision to say not too wrong, not too young to run. It's a provision. But what if the youths are not ready to grab it? What if all of us are not even positioned to take the baton? Then there is a gap. So what I think is that the youths, us today, had to dish out that philosophy that says youth are the leaders of tomorrow and say youths are the leaders of now, today. So you don't need to, and take the responsibility, you know, you take the responsibility. Let me come philosophically using the seasons to describe where we are and where we ought to be. Now we have the winter season, we have the spring, we have the summer, and we have the autumn. Now, the winter is a season that is not too pleasurable. It's not too pleasant, and that is the time of inflation. That is the time of poverty. That is the time you really don't like in your life. Now, it's like January of a month. You don't wish to be in January by tearing off January from the calendar and be in February. It's not possible. You still do the 31 days in January. Now, when you are in winter, like Nigeria, people describe Nigeria, say you're in winter, you don't wish you are in US or UK. You can only become better, smarter, and be wiser when you are in the winter, so you can live the winter. After the winter comes the spring. The springtime is a period of opportunity. What do you do in the period of opportunity? You take it. You take your opportunity. That's the only time, and it's never long. You take the opportunity. Not too young to run is a period of it's a spring period. But how many of us have taken the opportunity to run it? What is happening in the political space today is that one man decided to take the opportunity, and we can see, and that was exactly what happened during Obama in the United States of America, by seeing that a woman is coming, another not too competent McCain is coming, and he plugged in, and it worked out for him. It will always work out when you take opportunity. Since 6,000 years ago, that is how it has been. Now, in the time of summer, that is when what you've done has started to generate, begin to grow, like you have gotten admission in the school. The bug of life will definitely come to attack the good thing you've done. But what do? You protect your crops. Nigeria got an independence in 1960. It was well celebrated, but the bug of life came to attack in form of military coup, and maybe we didn't protect our crops. We got democracy in 1999, which is a very good one, but the bug of life will always attack. Why will a student get to the university and all of a sudden they tell you the guy is not attending classes again? He has deferred admission. Why? The bug of life always come after the good things of life. But what do? You protect your crops. Each day you wake up, you stand at the guard of your heart. So when things come to attack, you are the one to block it. Someone told me that these big men are very stingy. And that was a bait. You know what I told him? I look at it, was a bait. It was a temptation. These big men are very stingy. Now, that was a dilemma. For me to say it's true and to quickly rebuke it. And I said, you mean I'm stingy? That was how I defeated that temptation. Now, you as the youth must know that at any particular point in time, your destiny is attacked, irrespective of your nation. You alone must defend your destiny. Nobody else defend your destiny. The first university I attended, which I call the first university, was in the village of a man who had a pickup that supplies water, canopy, and what was written on the back of the pickup, face your life. It became a noun. When you want water, you say, go to Face Your Life house. Till tomorrow, nobody knows his real surname other than what? Face Your Life. When you know that, you don't have problem in, you can always find a way, a framework to leave any form of poverty. Nigeria got independence in 1960, again, economic independence. What about social independence? What about educational independence? Now, sir, the problem we have in this country is simple. The people who are available and deliberate to solve the problems are less than the people who are deliberate and want to create the problem. That is the problem. It's not a problem. That is where we are. But there will be a time we'll be at par. And there will also be a time the people who are deliberate and willing to change the country will be more than the people who are deliberate and willing to spoil the country. Then the country will be better than it is. But who will do it?
Let me interrupt you. Let me interrupt you, Dr. Aikobogbe, and put this in some form of our current situation. There are those who say, and I said so at the start when I said, oh, that the country is such that the youth form the largest population, so one would expect that there will be a tyranny of the majority. But not only does it appear, and you alluded to it when you said, are they ready? But and now I think I see Monica there, so I hope that she can now hear me. Monica, I guess this is for you because we're running out of time. Let me ask you this: that it does appear as if the women who form the bulk of the youth are also missing or are unable to take advantage of this. So when you talk about, you know, not being able to see how it is, the disconnect between the young and the old, is it also that the young, like Dr. Aikobogbe has just said, they are unprepared for this responsibility and therefore, you know, having been given the opportunity, they are unable to take advantage?
Mr. Ladi, I cannot say that the young people are not prepared. Last weekend, I was in a gathering of young entrepreneurs, and we were of a number of 50. And this group had different people in tech, people in agriculture, people in media, and it was a gathering of beautiful young minds. So, to be honest, young people are ready. It is just that there are factors and issues hindering them from achieving these goals. Factors like access to finance, factors like mentorship, factors like personal reasons. The young people need to be mentored. The young people need access to grants. They need swift access to bank loans. You find out that when these young people go to banks sometimes for loans, they end up getting, they stall them, and at the end of the day, their ideas are taken and even bought or stolen. So to be honest, young people are vibrant, young people are ready to do it. You check the economy, there's barely any young person on the mainstream of the economy, both in political and both economic and political spheres. But the young people are thriving. Okay, Mr. Ladi, why is it that when the young people migrate, like we call it in the young time, Japa, Now, these young people migrate, and when they migrate, you see them doing wonderfully well, both in academics, both in sports. I mean, we have a new world champion from Nigeria. So there is no way that I would agree that the young people are not ready. The only thing that the young people need is good mentorship. The young people need to be carried along. The young people need access to grants, to finance their business ideas, to finance their startups. That is why you see that they get frustrated and put their hands into different things. There are so many beautiful young minds in Nigeria. I mean, I feel like the government is not doing enough with the human capital they have. We have Nigeria is number 6 on the table of largest young people in the world. And this is, to me, this is a untapped crude. The government needs to see that this is an asset, not a liability. They need to work on and implement structures that will enable these young people to know that they are being carried along and their dreams would come true because they will get grants when they need to. They will get access to mentorship when needs be. And also the government should work on opening universities for entrepreneurs, universities like universities for professionals, like we need schools for interiors, we need schools for manufacturing. There's a lot that can be done. I mean, just look at the Asian tigers. They all started from manufacturing and exporting. Now look at where they are. So at the end of the day, the government is not using the crude, which is the human capital. We, the youths, are in large number, but there's high rates of unemployment. I mean, we have 33 staggering % of unemployed youths walking around the country without nothing.
Indeed. Indeed, you're right. You're right, Monica. You're right, Monica. But
how does the young person?
I'm going to have to stop you
yes,
there
Mr.
because we've completely run out of time, and it's just to say that, of course, those who are listening to you and Dr. Aiko Mogwe here in our studios in Lagos will, of course, I assume, have taken 1 or 2 lessons, including those that both of you referred to, who are seeking the authorities to direct the affairs of this country in the days to come. But let me thank Dr. Aiko Mogwe here in Lagos and Monica Mohege in our Abuja studios. Thank you both very much for joining us on the program today. Well, our time is up, and we want to thank you for allowing us to be part of your Independence Day activities. We want to thank our panel members who joined us from the Lagos, Abuja, and Maiduguri studios, as well as our studio audience here, and those who joined us as well virtually. All our viewers on our various platforms, we also thank you. On behalf of the entire production team working on this edition of Channels From, I am Ladi Akiri Doluale saying thanks for watching and good night.